All right, shalom, shalom. This brother Yatazadak here of Israel. Before I get started, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Bashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to go into Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, going into the Hebrew. So, Lord willing, you're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Right, so let's get right into it. Right. Salakia, for earlier, I tried to go live, and for some reason it didn't let me set it up correctly, right? Yahweh Shemel Shai Brakathum to the 144,000 of the nation of Israel, as well as a great multitude that will be delivered out of America, Babylon the Great. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. That's Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelite camp, right? The most hated group out of the Hebrew Israelites, right? Which is why we give double honors to the elders, our elders and apostles at Great Millstone, right? That teaches truth and 100% righteousness and truth, which is why we learn from them. We check out the videos, right? And we follow them, and we also do our lessons, sit downs, and whatnot through the Spirit, right? So, like I said, 12 tribes, the Israelites, which consist of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, God chosen people, a peculiar people, right? Set apart, right? Which is that word is Quadash in the Hebrew, right? And right, so we're prophesying the end of this reign, right? Esau, Edom's reign. Esau means wasted away, right? Which is so-called white man. Edom, which is Adawam, which means red, right? In the ancient Hebrew tongue, right? So we're prophesying, like the prophet Jeremiah said, against many kingdoms, nations, right? We're not prophesying of peace, right? But we're prophesying about these things that are coming and hastening on the earth, right? World War III, martial law, FEMA camps, world economic collapse, the coming of the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, right? Revelation 13 and 16, right? World War III, which is also known as the third woe in the book Revelation. When the Lord scorches, he's going to scorch the earth, right? So you heathens as well, right? The Lord is going to visit you for oppressing our people, right? And that's Psalms 83, right? The nation that has conspired to cut us off from being a nation, from being a name, right? Um, the book of Micah, I believe that's either chapter 6 or 7, says that right, they compass about her, they say let her be defiled, but they do not know the Lord's counsel. That's talking about the nation of Israel, right? Psalms 83, the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Hagarenes. They've conspired to cut us off from returning to our nationality, right? So that's the what the scriptures say, that the remnant will wake up, prophesy, right, about the end of this wicked reign, right? As you see, Emperor Nero claiming office, right? Salakia, 1 second. Emperor Nero, right? He's now in office, and we're gonna see the prophecies ramp up, right? And but anyways, we're gonna get right into it, right? This power spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashem Rakakwadash. Lord willing, you're edified. So this is Song of Solomon. We're gonna start at at verse 1. This is chapter 8, and this is verse 1, which says the header of this chapter is, it says, the lovers speak. So verse 1 says, who is he that would give unto thee like unto a brother? That is to me, that sucked the breast of my mother. I shall find thee in the street, as in without. I shall kiss thee even uh, that there shall not be a despising unto me. What is that talking about? It's talking about the two sticks being joined together in these latter days, right? The northern kingdom, which is the 10 lost tribes, the Hispanic tribes, the Native Americans, the Seminole Indians, uniting in this truth, right? And as we see, as we get nearer to the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, you call Jesus Christ, the Most High God's name is Yahweh, not Jehovah. It's not Yeshua. Yeshua, it's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? So what does this? What does that mean, right? Who shall give unto thee like unto a brother? That is unto uh, that's talking about those that are coming in this truth, right? Which the Lord woke up the southern kingdom, which are the real Jews, the black Jews, right? Although we don't go by color because we look like other nations because we took wives of the other nations in time past. So what does that mean? That's talking about the tribes, the remnant, uniting. 2/3 will be destroyed. 2/3 of our people, which is the majority, because they're going to keep following after this world. They're going to, right, not trust in the Lord, and they're going to ultimately take the charagma, right, which is the ultimate test of faith, right? Because in that day, you're either going to choose to serve man or Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? So these are the final prophecies that we are awaiting on to come to pass, right? Like scriptures say, Salakia, that what's that, the book of James, that the judge is at the door, right? Um, and so the elect will be delivered, caught, beamed up in the chariots, which are the holy angels, which there are so-called UFOs, UAPs. They call them UFOs, UAPs, but these are the vehicles of the holy angels, right? Which will return with a giant chariot, which is Yahweh Shai's chariot, and beam us up, place us back in our own land, right? Those that make it to see that day. Some of us will be martyred, and martyr just means witness when you go into the creek, because we're witnessing to the truth, right? And that's supposed to happen, right? So who shall give as if he were my brother? That's talking about the last chapter in the book of Malachi says that Elijah will return again, which was John the Baptist back then. Scriptures speak about reincarnation. Elijah, right? The truth coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street, Rabbi Abba Bivens. He was Elijah turning the heart back to the fathers into the children, children into the fathers. I mean, the Lord brought back that spirit of truth, right? That's from 1619 to 1970, 3.5 years, 350 years, which they would prophesy. And, right, and now we're in the last laps, like they say in the world, right? Uh, And another scripture says, Ephraim shall not vex Judah. It's talking about northern, southern kingdoms. Um, right? And so that spirit is out there already, right? The Lord's name, the prophecies, right? The remnant, right? And the breast is of the mother. That's the truth, right? Which is Jerusalem, which is us as a nation, Israel. It's also the truth. It represents, right, the scriptures, because that's what we were commanded, right, to go out on highways and byways, prophesy and bring in the remnant, right. The book of Jeremiah says, "Set the waymarks and turn your eyes towards the highways." Right. There's other scriptures as well, right, but that's if you're paying attention, you're studying, being diligent, if you're praying, fasting, etc., etc. I shall kiss thee, right, even that I should not be despised, right, because we don't come in the spirit of these other tribes, these other camps, Salakia, like IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, right? They come in that spirit of in the spirit of holier than thou spirit. And that's what it says in the book of Isaiah, the latter chapters. I believe that's either 50 or in the 60s, right? Right, speaks about that, holier than thou. The men that claim to be holier than thou, right? They just because you look light skinned, you look white, you're just automatically not Israel, right? Well, like I said, we took wives of the other nations, so our children have taken on their characteristics, right? Because you look like Moabite, right? But our people are that's the diaspora, the scattering. We're scattered, right? The book of Numbers, chapter 25, says that Jacob will be like water in many buckets, or surely paraphrasing, right? Right. So we don't come in that. Romans chapter 8 and 18 says the spirit bear witness, their spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Right. So these other camps come in a um, black spirit. They say black this, black that, black that. When black is just a color, that's not a nationality. You know, most of the members that they put in the forefront, they put the darkest Jake, and you know they don't push that 100% truth, right? These are men that are spoken of where it says in the book of Isaiah, like I said, it's the latter chapters, where it says he that sacrificed um um a swine's head is as if he slew a man, right? Because that's according to I believe there's a law, right? The law basically says that if you despise your brother, right, which you can precept that with that. If you despise your brother, then you're basically you're a murderer, right? Because you're not guiding him the right way. You're not leading him onto life. You're letting him fall into the snares of death, right? Which is what these other camps, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, right? They're leading Jake to snares and rebranding Christianity, Catholicism. We don't teach that, right? Teaching hell doctrine, that hell is a place underneath where there's a red guy with a pitchfork poking you, right? Those are Jewish fables, like scripture say, right? Book of Enoch, those are Jewish fables, right? But anyways, you get the point. So it says Maya Yatamka Ka'ach Laya Yanak Shadia Amya A Mataza'aka Ba Hwataza Ashaka Gum La'a Yabazwa Laya. Right. And again, I was meditating on these chapters recently, but it's just that's the spirit, because it's as soon as you do those lessons, that's the spirit speaking through you, right? When you get to these type of precepts, and you know you don't think about it ahead of time, that's the spirit that the Lord wants us in, to be steady, right? uh to keep a single eye, right? Which means, stay focused. But anyways, because there are many distractions out in the world, like it says in the book of Second Esdras, right? Many devices are coming to the world, right? So verse 2 says, I will drive thee, I will bring thee in unto the house of my mother, I will teach thee, um, or Salakia, who would teach even I, right? Because you have those strangers that will cleave unto the house of Jacob. That's the newcomers in the truth, and ultimately cleaving to the Lord, right? But you got to have those that were woken up first, the heads, right? Southern Kingdom, which Jake, right? Uh, our elders and apostles who have been laboring for decades upon decades, telling you about the charagma, about the things that are coming to pass, right? And then you get built up, and you get instructed, right, by the proper doctrine, right? You got some of us that came from other camps, and then we bear witness with Great Millstone, and but that's all set up by the Lord, right? To either sift you into the proper understanding, or sift you out with these wayward doctrines that these other camps are teaching, right? So it says, I shall kiss thee, or Salakia, I shall cause thee to drink from wine spiced, right? Because that's the form, that's speaking about the truth, well written, well versed, right? Like we read in other chapters, right? Uh, the word raquach means apothecary, right? A spice maker, right? And right, because Jake, that's even Jake in the world, right? Jake's like to put lots of spices on his food, and make everything nice, and set up everything perfectly. And that's what the Lord is doing, right? As we're progressing further into the prophecies, the Lord is placing his goats and his on the left, his sheep on the right, and it says with the juice of pomegranates, asias, it just means juice, new wine, pomegranates, which reads Anahaka, Abayaka, Albayath, Amya, Talamad Naya, Ashaka, Mayayan, Marakwach, Maasias, Romanya. Says his left shall be under my head, and his right should embrace me, right? Because that's a form of affection, right? Which you see Jake, they do it on the left hand side, they see each other and they dap each other up, and you know, or right, and that goes back to I believe that used to be a thing when they used to have Jake in the armies, and there was a lot of racism there, and Jake did that as a means to build brotherly connections, right? In the midst of all that racism, that's where you got the dap from, right? Jake, he invents these things, and then it's turned into something on the left hand side, right? So that's what we do, right? We're here to bring out the word, right? Correct, right? You got a question. We have no problem answering questions, but a lot of the times it's we the videos are already out there, right? If you got to ask, then if you got it, like they say, if you ask, if you got to know, if you want to know how much, then you probably don't need to buy it, right? So it means you're not ready. It means you got to hit them books, right? So that's what it's talking about, right? Because that's what we do when we prophesy. We right. We don't mind answering questions, right? If you're new to this thing, but a lot of times we just see uh, comments that should not be even addressed, you know. But at the end of the day, Jake's gonna get it or not, right? So it says, and it's not that deep. It doesn't mean okay, it's left hand. That's the Lord on the left hand. That's Lord and the Lord on the right hand. No, that's not what it's talking about. You know, Salakia. So it reads Shamalwa Tahat Ra'ashya Wa Yanawa Tachabaknaya. Verse 4 says, I cause you to swear on the daughters of Jerusalem how you should stir him, and um how should we be awakened? How should he be stirred? And how should he be awakened unto even until it is it is pleasing, right? So we know, right, that we're not trying to hasten the times in the way that, for example, Judas Iscariot tried to do, right? Or the Sicario, which Sicario is a Greek for murderer. Had a group of Jakes in the ancient Roman Empire. They would go and they were called daggermen, right? And they would try to stir up, right, um, the Roman officers and emperors, cause riots, so Jake could get stirred up to rebel more and more against the Romans, which they did, you know, which there's a that's in the history, Jewish Roman wars, right, which eventually led to the desolation of Jerusalem, 70 A.D. Um, so that word hapatazah, which the word just means to be attentive, right, to incline, because the Lord accept the acceptable time does not mean that we are to right to take arms, nothing like that. That's not what we're doing. We're preaching, calling Jake back, and that's it, right? That's our job. And so that's why it says, how should he be stirred up, and how should he be awakened unto right unto doesn't actually say my love. It just says to to the love, right? Her love, which is talk about the Shulamite, right? And her love was Solomon, which is Yahweh Shai, who was that was a past incarnation of Yahweh Shai, right? So that's why it's written in that form. Even though he pleases, to be pleased, which reads Ha Shabbai Thaya Athakam Banath Yerushalayim Ma Ta Ayarwa Wama Ta Ararwa Tha Ha Ahaba Ad Shah Thachap Tazah, right? So he pleased, right? Which would actually read to you be um, acceptive, right? Because when the elect are sealed, right, which is the 144,000, and as well you have a great multitude, right? And that's when the Lord is going to, He's going to say, right, that's it, right? And because through the elect, the word is going to be brought out, right? That wiping glass is going to be wiped more and more, right? And then the end shall come, right? Which means the end of an age and the beginning of Jake and the kingdom and the kingdom of heaven, right? Which that's what Esau wants to usher in on the left hand side, right? Because they're gonna bring what's called they already got zoning of schools, rezoning, privatization of schools. Why? Because they're gonna have these nations do the dirty work, right? Do the brainwashing. But they're all divided either way. They're just kind of playing it cool right now, you know. And you can see the division. It's not hard to see because if the nations in Esau were actually in cahoots, things would be running a lot smoother, right? But everyone's woken up to the fact that Esau, he wants all the control, which that's what this technology is going to do. That's what he's going to. That's why his armies are. He's going to stir up the not just the other nations, but these other Edomites armies, And right, like I said, all this right, everything has everything. There's an agenda behind everything now, you know. And so they have what's called central bank digital currencies. They have you know, eventually you're just going to be given um, I forgot what that term is called, but eventually they're gonna just give you the money, which is I forgot the term, like I said, and they're gonna say, okay, you know, do something with it, or you know, make sure the world keeps going round and round. Um, and Jake is gonna go along with that, right? Because Jake doesn't want to work, right? We're not supposed to because you know we're 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 a nation of kings and priests, right? But that's going to be used on the left hand side for Jake to further accept more and more the digitization of everything, right? And so on and so forth, right? Um, verse 5 says, who is this ascending up from the wilderness of our leaning? Salakia. To recline, to lean, yeah, it just means to recline upon her beloved, right? Under the apple tree, which it doesn't actually say apple tree, it just says under the apple, right? Because we are right, Yahweh Shai, right? And there's many scriptures on that, right? He's why art thou red in thy apparel? That's Isaiah. The book of Habakkuk says he's going to thrash the heathen in his anger, right? And which is why he said, "I will not meet thee as a man," right? Because he's going to return as an angelic force, you know. Scriptures say, the book of Saint Luke says, when he returns, there's going to be people defecating themselves, passing out, you know. So it says coming up from the wilderness, right? Because I believe that's the book of St. Matthew that says you're going to see him from the east to the west. All eyes going to see him, right? Which you know, when I read those verses, I just picture them sentinels that they have in X-Men, where they're these giants, and you know, because Yahweh Shai can do that, right? Return, and you just see you see, and Esau is going to try to do that too. He's going to do a fake return of Yahweh Shai, right? Which is why they got these right. They want to unite all the Abrahamic religions, because then people will say, "Oh, you see, you know this. That's we're gonna be okay, right? That's what's gonna happen." But really, everyone's gearing up and preparing, right? When the Lord told us just to be patient and endure, you know, and coming up from the wilderness, leading upon her beloved. That's talking about the elect, right? Because when the elect get delivered, They're going to be in the fathership, and the book Revelation says they were in the glass firmament, watching the flames, right? Which all these things are going to lead to you having no choice but to submit to this new world order, right? Which is gonna the Lord is gonna only gonna let it get so far. Right? You got things like electric cars, right? Right? They don't know that people don't know that lithium is actually in these batteries that they're putting in everything, the reactive to other elements, right? These are things that your body reacts with as well, because these are things that were made to be in the earth and to be used for particular purposes, right? But now you got it in your home, you got it in your vehicle, right? Um, so it says, "There thy mother brought thee forth," right? That apple tree is Jerusalem, right? Which the elect are going to come out of the wilderness, America, Babylon the Great, get delivered, placed back into their own land, right? We're going to be with Yahushua in the Mount of Olives, right? There thy mother brought thee forth. That apple tree is the land of Israel, because there we were led, given the laws there. We were given the laws, placed there, right? There she brought thee forth that bare thee. From there, right, came the kings of Judah, northern, southern kingdom. Although northern kingdom, they didn't do good at all. They went way left, right? And so it says, Ma Mayazaath, Ilah Man, Ha Madabar, Mata, Rapak, Rapak, Rapakwath, Al Dada, Thachath, Ha Thapach, Arar, Arath, Arathiaka, Shema, Kabalatka, Amka, Shema, Habala, Yaladathka, right? Which is why it says, there I raised thee up, but that would actually mean there I stirred thee up. I stirred thee up there, right? To bind you, because that word Habal, it means to bind, right? Because you had to have different times. You had to have the time when the law was given, right? And then the prophets came and prophesied to Jake during those times afterwards, right? Spoke of the things to come, which is why it says there, brought thee forth your mother, right? So Jake knew the law, and then they heard the prophets, right? And the studied men, and things were, those accounts were recorded, right? And the learned men, they figured it out, you know. So it says there, there she brought thee that bare thee, there she bound she that bare thee, right? So it says, Ha Thapach Ara Ara Arathiaka. Or Salak, you already read it. Verse 6 says, place me like a seal upon your heart, like a seal upon your arm, which is in the law, right? The law says to right, to bind the law on your hand and in your forehead, which Jake actually did phylacteries. They have ancient phylacteries that they used to use, which the small hats they use now, and they kind of added their own twist to it, right? But really, that was talking about keeping the law and the things that will guide you that are in the law to perform them. Because at first it comes with a careful study of them, and right, which is why it says, as frontlets between your eyes and upon your hand. A hand represents the performance, the action, right? You have learning and then you have action, right? It says, because fierce, actually that word means mighty. Because mighty, because mighty, like death, is love, right? Harsh, like the grave. Jealous, jealousy, um, burning. Rashap, which right, sometimes you read it as sharap, which just means to burn, like a burning of fire, or the fire flame. Vehement, right? Which the blue letter says vehement, but that's just saying that's the Lord's name, abbreviated, right? Like fire of a flame of the Lord, right? Which the Lord said Himself in the law that He's a jealous God, right? So why does it say all that? The Lord is because basically you're gonna have Jake that's gonna, we're gonna have to earn our way into the kingdom, right? We're not gonna, the Lord's not gonna hand it to us in a platter, right? Okay, here, just, you know, no. The Lord is gonna try us. The Lord is gonna, right? We're gonna be in pearls. We're gonna scarcely make it, like the scriptures say. The righteous will scarcely be saved, right? Book of Second Ezra says that, right, they shall spoil and destroy those that fear the Lord, right? So it's not going to be, Daniel chapter 12, a time which has not been since the foundation of the world, right? So it's not going to be a joyride, you know. We're past the kissing stage at this point. Now it's going to be, okay. You really believe, then you're going to have to show your faith, right? And Jake, 2/3 are not going to understand that fire is for your good, for your own good, because that's how you purify it, right? That's how you make purified metals. Fire that gets rid of what, the dross, right? Which is the impurities, right? Which the book of Isaiah says will be tried in the fire, right? Coming out as gold, right? Like I said, you gotta trust in the spirit, right? Which is the truth, which is the spirit of truth, not the spirit of error, not the many voices that are coming to the world, which are these philosophies, these other pseudo ways, right? The Lord is not dealing with that, you know? So it says, Shayamnaya ka khatam al labka ka khatam al zaraika kaya aiza kamath ahaba kwasha ka sha'al kwana rashapya ash shalahabath ya. Verse 7 says, waters many cannot are not able to quench unto her love, right? It's talking about Yahweh Shai, that's talking about the truth, the scriptures, right? Because these other philosophies, that's Satan's number one tactic, to have a form of truth and present it to you as something deep, you know? That's Satan, uh, right? And you can find him in other in the philosophies, in these other philosophies, these pseudo books, right? It sounds godly, it looks godly, but it's full of dead man's bones, right? Which is what these other religions do, you know? Christianity, Catholicism, right? They're rooted off lies. Yahweh Shai spoke about that, commandments of men, you know? So there's no other book that is speaking what the scriptures are speaking right now. And that's what the Lord made it that way, you know? It's part of the Lord's design, right? So it says and rivers are not able to overflow her, right? Because that's talking about the elect. Because is why some of the elect are going to be put to death, because they just can't, as much as Esau tries, and the nations via their council. It's more than something. It's the spirit that's inside you. You just can't. There's certain of righteous spirits that you just can't you cannot reprogram. 2/3. That's because the Lord is he gave them up to their own lusts, right? But the elect is there's just something that you can't, which is the book of Saint John. I believe that's John 1 or 2, which says the wicked one cannot touch you. That's not talking about literally. That's just talking about that you were already, it's that spirit inside you, which is pure energy, right? It says, if he would give a man to all the substance of his house in exchange for her love, because that's what this new world order is going to do. You're going to get all the goodies, right? Right when Satan He's about to fill his belly, right? Comes the goodies, right? The goodies come, and right, you're gonna feel at ease. That's when right, sudden destruction is gonna come when they shall say peace and safety, right? So it says, utterly it shall be despiseful unto him. Here it says it would utterly be contemned, right? So it says, and rivers are not able to overflow it, even if he giveth a man unto all the substance of his house, right? So that's not talking about an actual individual. That's a dark saying. In exchange for her love, it shall utterly be despiseful, right? For example, that's what a man does. You know, when you try to get a woman, you buy her stuff, and right, and if you love her so much, you're gonna give her everything you have, which that's what you call a sucker. You're a sucker if you do that, because especially in these times, there's that's just not nothing is the women aren't pure. Nothing is pure, right? Not that we are, you know, all righteous, because we go off too, but nothing is sacred anymore, you know. So it says, so you should be utterly despised. So the elect, they're not going to be spiritual suckers, right? And that's where you see 2/3, right? They're going to go after these uh these other philosophies, right? And they're going to follow it, right? And they're going to fall, right? They're going to fall because that's going to be they're going to be misguided. They're going to be wrongly guided, right? And these philosophies are compared unto women, right? Because a sound woman, right? Which Book of Proverbs speaks about that. She that leads to Sheol, to the grave, right? And that's how Jake gets caught up with these females, because they're there to set him up, right? And that's what these philosophies do, right? I believe that's Proverbs chapter 7, where it says a man is taken by a piece of bread, right? There's that woman in the book of Proverbs that told the young man, my husband is away. I have the bed spread. I have everything ready. He'll never know. Come with me. You know that those are these other philosophies, right? And so that's 2/3, because they love this world, and the Lord is gonna destroy them for that, because they're gonna take the charagma, right? They're gonna be given to their own lusts, right? Because they don't see that there's a power in heaven that has designed everything this way. It's something that a carnal man can't understand. Esau can't understand that. As much as videos as he might watch, or as much as somebody tries to break it down to him, he's never going to get it, right? Which is why his mark is carnal, right? He's going to actually, you know, do that, and but he's not going to get away uh, with his he's it's not gonna get as far as he's not gonna be able to complete that, right? And that's what 2/3 are gonna take the charagma, and you know the Lord is gonna say, okay, you want to serve Esau? Well, you know he's gonna destroy you, you know. So it says, Mayam Rabiam La'a Yakalwa Lakabath Atha Ha Wana Harath La'a Yashtapa An Yathan Ayash Atha Kal Hawan Bayathwa Ba'ahaba Baz Yabaza Lawa. Like I said, these are the things that you just meditate on it, but then and you wonder what does this mean? And then you start to do the lesson, and right, the Lord puts it in your mind, right? The Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right, for our elders, and we know that the Spirit is guiding them as well, which is the Holy Spirit, Rakak Kwadash, and verse 8 says, "Sister is unto us little, and breast she does not have unto her. There is none unto her. What shall we do for our sister in the day when she shall be spoken when she shall be spoken when there will be speaking upon her?" Right? Which, like I said, there's an order to this thing. The Lord is waking up the heads and the teachers and scribes and whatever you want to call it, wise men, prophets, to edify the body. And again, that's just talking about those are newly coming in, right? Receiving the understanding, right? That's not talking about, okay, oh well, the little sister is the northern kingdom. It's not always that deep, right? So that's what it's talking about. She shall be spoken for, meaning when, right, when Jake hears the word, and the correct doctrine is laid out, right? They're gonna get it, right? That's why it says no breasts, right? Because that's talking about, for example, you got a that's a form of when you get a form of malnourishment, you know you get sickly, and you know you um, right. But when you're nourished with the truth, right, then you can be properly built up, right? Which the remnant are going to get properly built up. 2/3 are not. They're not going to be properly built up. So it says, "Achas lanawa kwatana washadium ayan laha ma na aisha la achatnawa bayam shayadabar baha." If a wall she be, we will build upon her a castle of silver. If if a door she be, we shall fortify upon her with boards of cedar. Right? That's just talking about, right, the wisdom and knowledge being the stability of thy times, right? Which you're gonna bear witness to the correct doctrine, right? You're gonna be built up. That's not super deep. You know, it's not, oh well, this and that. You know, and Paul the Apostle always spoke about that being properly built up. You know, through the Spirit. So it says, I'm Kama Haya Nabana Alya Tayarath Kasap Wa'im Dalath Haya Natazar Alya Lawa or Salakia Laka Araz. Verse 10 says, I am a wall, and my breasts are like towers. Then I was in his eyes like unto one that found peace, which the word shalom or shalom means wholesomeness, to be at ease, right? And for those that come in the truth, you know that when you were in the world, you weren't right spiritually. You come into the truth, it's like something awoke in you, you know, and which is just you bearing witness to the truth. And you found the answers of the things that your mind that you've been thinking on and thinking on and right. And this is talking about the those that are the heads, the teachers, right? Because when you find favor, right, the Lord's gonna sup with you, right? Like the parable of the sower that soweth the word, right? Some tenfold, some will increase hundredfold, you know. But that's not. We don't meditate on these on those type of things, positions or lofty titles. We just do the work, you know. Man up and do the work. Put up or shut up, you know. So it says Anya Hama Wa Shadia Ma Ka Magadalath Az Haya Yataya Ba Ayanya Ayanyawa Ka Matazaath Shalom. Verse 11 says, a vineyard there was unto Solomon in Belhaman, giving it unto the vineyard unto keepers. A man he brought, he was to bring for its fruits 1,000 pieces of silver, which is just the same parable that you read in Matthew 25. The Lord's money that he gives you, right? You're either going to put it in a napkin, which that's what these other camps are doing, putting it in a napkin, not multiplying the Lord's money. The book of Proverbs speaks about buy the truth, sell it not, you know, because that's what Esau does in trading, right? Stocks, you buy, but you have enough to where you're able to make more investments. You don't buy all and sell all. You know, you got to build up you build up a portfolio. You know, you look at future prospects. You know, and this is the greatest startup, spiritual startup. This is like a spiritual startup. You know, and only the elect are gonna get it. You know, so 1,000 pieces of silver. Karam Haya, La Shalama, Ba Baal Haman, Mathan Atha Hakaram, La Natarium, Ayash, Yab'a, Aparyawa, Alap, Kasap. Verse 12 says, my vineyard, which is unto me, it is before me. Um, 1,000 is on 1,000 is unto thee, O Solomon, right? Because that's what Solomon received, and that's what he's given to the keepers, right? That's why it says in verse 11, he let out the vineyard unto keepers, every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. So we're supposed to match Yahweh's work, you know, which is laboring in the word, prophesying on the highways and byways, right? That's what they call it in the world, right? Basically, Yahweh is the word, right? The 100% truth. We're supposed to be 100% as well when we're dividing the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. That's all that means. That it means, right? And those that keep the fruit thereof 200, meaning that from those the keepers, and 200 for the keepers for their fruit. Meaning you're gonna have those the heads, and then you're gonna have not everyone's gonna be able to go into the deep prophecies. Some of the Akim are good at exhortation videos. Some of us can go better into the Greek. Some of us got better admonition lessons. But it's of the same body. It doesn't mean uh, you know, because they're not as good, or that's just what the Lord gave them. You know, and those are the members that we need the most, because there's certain Akim. I watch some of their videos, and they're just exhortation, and that's it'll get you out of that pit spiritually. you know so we need the least of the members, because that's you know sometimes we get there's something that they show us. They don't know that they're showing us something, but we pick it up, and that's how the body works. That's why scriptures say iron sharpens iron, right? And they may not know that but the Lord just put it in their spirit to bring a good point, and then what do? We drive it home, right? So they give us that the spiritual alley oop, you know. So it says Karamya Shalya Lapanya Ha Alap Laka Shalama Wa Ma'athium La Notorium Tha Paryawa. And that's why we do these lessons. Because we meditate and we meditate, we try to figure it out. But then when we press record, you know, it just comes to you. So it says, thou that dwellest in the gardens, the companions hearken to your voice to cause me to hear it, right? And that's exactly what I was just bringing up. That there's a good point another brother might bring out, right? And then boom, you know, we get it, and then we drive it home, which is why it says they spoke often one to another. A book of remembrance was written, right? Because it's not us speaking to each other; it's the spirit that is in us. We're speaking to each other, and you know. So it says, "Ha Yeshabath Baganyam Habarium Ma Kwashiabium La Kwalka Ha Shamyai Yanya." Verse 14, which says, flee, my beloved, and be thou, and be likened thou unto a roe or a young ram, which is a young hart, upon the mountains of spices, right? That's why the scriptures say that, Salakia, we're supposed to hasten a day, meaning we're supposed to study and then bring out the good points that we see, line them up with current events, you know, as watchers, as faithful watchers. Ezekiel chapter 33, right? But you got these other camps, they're like dogs. They love to sleep, they love to be filled, right? They want their praise, they want the, right, from the large congregation, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, right? And but they're not being watchmen, right? That, like the Lord said, right? So it reads Barak Tadia Wadama Laka La Tazabya Awa La Ipar Ha Ayalium Al Harya Bashamyum, right? And that completes Songs of Solomon book, chapter 8, going into Hebrew. It's Brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. Always, Lord willing, you were edified. Giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. And the Sabbath day was Friday night. The new moon was November 1st, which you can go to the moon phases, timeanddate.com, right? So as you can see, 15th day, right? Sabbath day was yesterday, right? And so just a quick point to make, right? It goes November 1st, which is the new moon. The 8th is the Sabbath. 15th, that's 1, 7, 14, 21, 28, which falls on 29th. right? 28, 29, then you have 30, right? And on that day, sundown, or Salakia, um, on the after the 30th day, the first day, that's the new moon, December 2nd. So let's double check that. Forgot how to do it. So it says here December 1st, but it's not November 1st and December 1st because there's 30 days in a month. And that's in the scriptures. And I got a breakdown on that. You can look it up. Because it says it in the book of Esther. It says it in the time in the recording of when the flood started, right? That's pretty much it. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakathum. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Kwam Nasha Allah, Abba Ball, Shalom.